All right, back on the XJ. Time to do the quantum fuel system fuel pump. First thing you want to do is lubricate with some penetrating oil, WD-40, what have you, on these two bolts that hold your tank straps up. Do that first and foremost, and let that set while you do the rest of it. The order I'm going to do is I'm going to spray these. I'm going to let them soak for a while. Disconnect my hoses from the tank, get that squared away. Once I get the hoses squared away from the tank, I'm going to spray these again. Disconnect my 3 lines up here on top, and then remove those. You got to remove your access panel so you can get to your clamp so you can disconnect your fuel lines. It's got a little cover on it. It's going to be similar to this. It's 10mm bolts that hold on to the side of it, or screws I should say. Yours may make a little different. I've got the cut and fold on mine, but you still have that cover. So take those off so you get easy access to these connectors right here. Okay, so I got the fuel tank out. Good thing I did this. This is the gas tank strap that, as you can see, is just completely gone. Here's what a good one is supposed to look like. I'm in the process of that. I broke off one of the J bolts, which is normal, so I'm gonna have to order that too. Part of it though, left the hoses attached to the tank, pulled it down through the frame. May end up switching those hoses out, don't know yet, just a filler tank. I'm gonna clean this up on the outside a little bit so no dirt and stuff gets inside. Then you gotta take this ring off. They make a special tool to do it, but you can do it with a screwdriver if you just tap it around lightly. So I'm gonna get that squared away, get some of this cleaned up, and then we'll go from there. All right, as you can see, got it disassembled. Here is the old pump. Very similar, identical to the new pump. Basically just pop it out of the bottom there, and once you disconnect it, you need to reuse this rubber seal that's on the bottom, and essentially just put it back in the same way you took it out. So while inspecting this plug, noticed a couple of wires that are shorting out and are cut. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this wrap back a little bit, cut these, splice them back together with some clips, and then tape it up real good while we're in the process. Went ahead and ordered the new fuel filters. Forgot to get those when I got the pump from Quantum. So I'm gonna get those installed. There's a new one compared to one that was in it. I imagine it's probably the original 20-year-old one. So I'm gonna get these in and start getting it back together. All right, got it back together. Hardest part so far is getting the rubber seal to seat back in the neck. I had to use a screwdriver to get it to seat right, and then putting this thing on just as hard as it is taking off. When you're actually changing the fuel pump itself, patience. Walk away, come back, patience. That's key to making it all work. So now I've got it. I'm gonna get it set. We got to get the hoses fed back through the frame, and then once I get it set up where I want it on the jack, I'll put the hangers back on, get it somewhat taut, then I'll hook back up my connections underneath and fire it up and see how she goes. All right, I definitely recommend having somebody help you get this tank back up. Even though there's only probably about a gallon or 2 in it, it's sloshing around, pain in the butt. But I got that set up, then I got my hoses fed back through. I'm not gonna hook those up yet until I get my straps helping hold the tank, and then once I get everything where it needs to be lined up, I'll start tightening stuff up. Okay, so pump and everything's in, doing great, other than from where it was the original fuel pump and filter. My tire pressure, or my fuel pressure regulator, I'm sorry, diaphragm was worn. So the new filters I put in with the high pressure pump took out my fuel pressure regulator, which meant I had to re-drop the tank, put a new one in. To be expected. I should have just went ahead and had the foresight to do it at the beginning, but now it's in. It was delayed starting. Let's see how it does now. One crank. Starting up. No check engine lights. All appears to be doing well. Super excited to see how it does on the road.